podcast, and I think it's up and running now. It's working. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Wonderful.
My name's Waldo,
And I'm modular.
and we discuss things sometimes.
Yeah, we talk about stuff.
Uh,
Oh God.
oh yes. Oh yeah. Oh, it's real good, boss. This is like the, the only news at the moment.
It is, yeah. Retarded. That's
I
all I
agree.
have to say
It's
about it.
it's madness.
How dumb
Oh,
can
it's
you
so good.
be?
Uh, so Nick Fuentes gets to have dinner with the with Mr. Trump. Oh,
You've got a very spicy ad to the right there as well.
yeah, I know. That one won't go away. That one's on everything I own. I can't imagine why. For some
Huh,
reason,
weird.
the algorithm thinks that I would like that.
Well,
Uh,
it's
can't
supposed to be
imagine
based on your
why.
browsing history.
What? No. I'm being profiled, and I don't like it.
Ah,
Uh, so yeah, they had dinner. Um, Kanye, what's his name? He announces his president. He actually said that he's running for president, which like I think he's going to get his ass handed to him because of accountants and taxes. You realize that when you say publicly, "I am running for president," a whole bunch of election law starts to kick in,
yep.
and if he doesn't have a good accountant who knows the tax laws and the donation laws, he is going to lose a ton of money and maybe even go to jail.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I do believe the Supreme Court actually did rule that a president has to release his tax returns now.
Oh, did they? Okay, I remembered that they gave Trump's taxes to the Democrats investigating him, um, and nothing's leaked yet. Wouldn't surprise me if something does. Uh, they
There it
really don't
is.
like that guy.
Supreme Court orders Trump's tax returns to be turned over to House Democrats.
Okay, yeah,
So, wow. All right.
but yeah, because they're investigating him, trying to find out if he like took money from people uh, illegally, and I mean it's possible. Um,
Right. But
oh,
yeah,
that.
the Fuentes and Ye news.
Oh, did you see who's
Um,
running Ye's campaign?
is it Fuentes?
No, it's Milo Yiannopoulos.
You're fucking kidding me.
No,
Oh my God.
shit poster supreme, you know.
Wow.
So he's got just the A team on it, you know. Milo and
I also
Fuentes.
heard that
That's
Ye asked Trump to be his vice president.
yeah, he did, and apparently Trump didn't like that, so he yelled at him. Um, very unhappy. So yeah, it's gonna be
He unexpectedly showed up with three of his friends, whom I know nothing about.
yeah. That's how you have to play it. You have to. I think what's her name? Maytag, MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Uh, had went to an event put on by Fuentes as well, and she had to pretend that she didn't know who he was, and I don't believe her. Don't believe her for a second. She knows exactly who he is, and she just likes him. There he is. Hooray! Um,
Look at that jawline, though. I wish I had a jawline like that.
is he classically masculine? Is that what it is? All right.
But yeah, gosh, definitely not the guy you want at anything associated with you at all.
I know. It's
Jesus,
yeah. Uh,
that's a fucking disaster. I feel so
campaign would
bad
be
for Trump's
managed by Milo
campaign
Yiannopoulos.
team.
There he is. Yeah, that's the campaign team from hell, isn't it?
Yeah,
God, shit posters and neo Nazis. It's gonna be great.
I don't
He's
know.
gonna
I
get
don't think it goes very far.
so many votes. Uh,
Uh,
so many votes.
you think Ye will actually be on the campaign like presidential debate stage?
I don't. I don't know, honestly. Um, when it comes to the primaries, they'll let anybody on there. Um, the
Goodness gracious, that would be a spectacle for the ages. Might get better ratings than NFL football.
I know, and that's the problem though, is that it gets the ratings, and then the news goes nuts for it, and then they start watching literally every single thing that Kanye says, and they start covering him almost entirely, and then he wins in Pennsylvania. Like, I don't know what to make of it.
This definitely makes things a little more interesting for 2024.
Well,
Um,
I don't, I don't know. When when the Republican primary starts, I don't think Kanye's going to be involved in it. I think he's going to run as a third party. There's going to be something that prevents him or someone that prevents him, and he won't be on the stage with the rest of the Republican primary voters, including Trump. Uh, he'll run as a third party. Who votes for him though? What? Who does he spoil? Whose votes does he steal? You know, well, I mean, the Green Party takes the left votes. You know, the Libertarians tend to take from the right, and then that ruins the right's chances of winning. And the Green Party and Ralph Nader uh, specifically gave us George W. Bush. Um,
I think Kanye steals votes from both parties. Actually,
that's what I'm thinking. He steals a little bit
it's
from
gonna
both
be
sides.
he'll get a lot of the black vote
Hmm.
because he's Kanye West,
Hmm.
you know. Um, but he'll take a lot of the anti-Semitic vote, like the
Yeah,
far right vote.
he'll get the Q guys. You know,
Yeah. Well,
because
the Q
because I think
guys are mostly just dumb boomers.
the
He'll
Q
he'll
tards
he'll get the
are gonna turn on Trump. I think
he'll
they're
get the,
abandoning him.
the possibly. I mean, he um isn't supposed to be as right as Ye has gone, but he wasn't supposed to be as middle of the road as he was when he was president.
Hmm.
And I think the Q people did not like that. So, but I don't think that they're going to go all the way to the distance of where Ye's at. Like I said, there a lot of Q people are boomers. They're just gullible boomers.
Yeah, maybe they could stop being gullible boomers. That'd be nice. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, two more weeks is now a meme over at Poll.
uh, Kanye says, "My question would be why, when you had the chance, did you not free the January Sixers? So free them so that they can continue, I suppose, attacking the country." So he'd be more in favor of violent overthrows. Hooray!
Yeah, I mean, in the case of the January Sixers, I think there is something there, in terms of, or that's a little bit concerning, and maybe it's not even true, but uh, my understanding is that there has been a sort of a lack of due process there, where there are people that are still in prison right now for that event without having gone to trial.
Oh, yeah, that's the very slow justice system. The justice system moves kind of slow, and and if that is true, I think it's because they don't know who planned it, and they're still waiting on this whole Trump thing to drop. Does Because if Trump gets charged with sedition, that changes the crime that those January 6th people committed, doesn't it?
Possibly, but at the
So,
same time, I mean, held without bail, um, haven't had their trial yet. I think that that's definitely a violation of due process at that point, right?
yeah, it very well could be. Um,
Which is a little concerning to me. But I mean, I don't support what they did, but at the same time, I would like to see them actually have their day in court.
uh, and I agree with you. I wish we could, but if we aren't sure what happened yet, I mean, we know what happened, but we're not sure what we're going to call it. Uh, that makes it hard to try people. I mean, imagine if they already had their trial, and then Donald Trump gets uh, acquitted of sedition or something along those lines, that changes what they're. I mean, they'd have to do an appeal at that point, I suppose. If the appeals process could still work. Imagine if the the foot soldier, the guy on the ground gets charged with sedition, but then Trump isn't seditious. Could they not then do an appeal and say, "Hey, I wasn't doing sedition"? Possible. I assume that's why they're waiting, but I haven't heard anything about it.
Well,
I can look into it.
for most states, and I just Googled it,
Hmm.
once you're placed in custody, your rights typically require the prosecutor to decide charges within 72 hours.
Mm, okay.
So they should have charges already. If no charges are filed, then you should be released. And these guys are now 2 years into being in jail, and either there's no charges or they haven't been to court for the charges that have been decided upon,
Okay.
which is really fucked up.
Hmm. Uh, West says, since we know, and all the Christians in America that love Trump know that Trump is a conservative, we're going to demand that you hold all policies directly to the Bible. Oh, good. Biblical policy. It's going to be great. See, I love it when Republicans talk policy. Here we go.
Yeah, Kanye is a fucking crazy person, though. I
I know,
mean,
he's a lunatic.
uh,
Why? Uh, I, I mean, conservatism is tied directly with the Bible. I mean, the two are un, unable to get unbound. I mean, you can't be one without the other, right?
well, sure you can.
Can't. I've never met one person
Hello,
who was
my name is Modular
okay. You're a conservative
and an atheist.
and an atheist.
Yep.
Okay, great. Um, okay, so I've met one.
Yeah, you talk to me every week.
I know. All right, all right. Never met another one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I have interesting views on religion. It's I think that people sort of wrote a guide for society a long time ago.
right. It was a list of rules and
Um,
things you shouldn't do, and that makes
and
sense.
there's yeah, I mean, why is it against certain religions to eat pork, for example? Well, probably some people ate pork and died,
They were filled
and
with
they were like,
parasites and
yeah,
disease two
exactly. They
thousand
didn't
years
cook
ago.
it
They were filthy
properly,
little
and then
monsters. Yeah.
1500 years later, we figured out, oh shit, if we actually cook this, we can make bacon, and then it isn't going to kill us,
Hmm.
right? Like, that's so we changed our methods there, right?
Values. Yeah.
Our values, right? Um, so yeah, I think that uh, over the course of centuries, sort of lessons are learned and they get put into religion, and some of them aren't great, some of them are good.
Yeah. They've been outgrown. You know.
Yeah. Um, what lessons we still take from religion is up for debate. But yeah, the idea that we would adhere strictly to the Bible, which was a guidebook for society 2,000 years ago, is maybe
Hmm.
not the best idea today. And I do think that pandering to an evangelical base is probably not the strategy going forward anyway. They don't really have a choice in terms of who they vote for, because you either vote for the Republicans, who are at least somewhat religious, religiously minded, or you vote Democrat, who, by all accounts, are not. So
Hmm.
I don't think that even if you started to move away from religion, I don't think that they would have a choice, unless they think that the welfare is about, like, the spending that the Democrats propose is in line with giving to others, but that's not supposed to be compelled,
Hmm.
according to the Bible. And then as well, there's the whole abortion thing and whatnot.
Hmm.
But I don't see that being a motivator for people on the right anymore, or even for religious people. It The abortion debate has pretty much just been it has been exhausted. It seems like.
Oh, it's still chaos. Um, Once Roe v. Wade got overturned, the states all enacted their own rules, and the rules getting shot down by senators, and then not senators, by judges, and then other judges bring it back, and then, if I remember correctly, Florida had like a rule, and then it got struck down by a judge, and then it got re-uploaded by a judge, and then it got struck down by a judge again. It's absolute bedlam. It's chaos. It is the opposite of law and order. It is
Well, maybe through the legal system, yeah. No, I mean
chaos.
in terms of voters though, I don't think that
The voters,
abortion
yeah,
is
the voters
it's
all
not a driver
approve it.
to the polls uh for people that are against abortion anymore. I don't see people going to the polls for in order to be against abortion. Is what I'm saying.
I mean, they're a very small minority, but they they're they're pretty certain. But again, they vote for people who do abortions. Look at Herschel Walker. You know, he's
Yeah, yeah. I
still
don't.
the Republican nominee who is anti-abortion, even though he's done a few.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, and I don't know that
he's
being anti-abortion actually helps him at all. So
well, there's some people who are going to vote for him just because he says he is. It doesn't matter if he is or not. He just says he is. Uh,
sure.
that's I get that feeling more from Republicans than I do from Democrats. Yes, Democrats can and do lie, but I get it. I see it more often with people like this. Look at this guy. He was tricked into voting for the Marriage Equality Act. Scott Perry. Democrats tricked him into voting for it. Derp. If that's true, I don't think it's true. Then he's too stupid to be a
That's a
representative.
terrible look. What the
Yeah,
hell?
he
Either you
doesn't.
voted for it on purpose. You didn't. If you get tricked into voting for something, you really shouldn't be on the floor. I'm sorry.
He's either too stupid or he's lying because when he said this, he was speaking to who was he speaking to? Tony Perkins, the head of the anti-LGBT hate group, the Family Research Council. Uh, so when he's talking to Tony Perkins, he needs an excuse. He needs a reason. Tony Perkins is holding his feet to the fire and says, "Hey, why'd you vote for this thing that we don't like?" And he's like, "Oh, I got tricked. Derp. I'm too stupid." But if he were in front of a bunch of voters, he would say, "Oh yeah, I voted for it because it's the right thing to do." It tricks people. You don't want to be racist, but you're not against traditional marriage. That's a stupid sentence, but he wants
That
the
doesn't. That's a non sequitur. What the fuck, Perry? What are you doing?
the act that
You
he
don't
did
want to
vote
be a
for.
racist, but you're not against traditional marriage. That those two things don't.
Well, they were both in the
They're
same
they're.
bill. The bill did codify gay marriage and multiracial marriage because there were still a few states that didn't have that on the books. Uh, so that's how it tricked him. Is he wants interracial marriage, but he doesn't want the gay marriage, and so he doesn't know what to do, and so he votes for it, and he got tricked.
Well, it's not about being against traditional marriage either, though.
I know it's not,
It's about
but
being in favor of gay marriage or not.
that's what Tony Perkins sees it as. He sees this as a absolute assault on religious liberty.
Well, you, I really, we've at this point we've turned marriage into a function of the government rather than a function of religion.
It always has been. Yes, I agree.
Um, well, it used to be a function of religion, but that was when everybody in the country was religious.
Mm,
Um,
I don't think it's been a function of religion since the founding of the country. Honestly,
if you say so.
when did marriage
Um, but
licenses get invented? I
but
should
people
Google
got
that.
married in the churches, right? It was a marriage under God, and now it's a marriage under the state. Is what I'm saying. So
Uh, yes, I'm saying rotation. Marriage licenses have been required since 1639 in Massachusetts. That's a
sure.
long ass time ago. I would say that's when it stopped being a religious thing. that you go to the religion to do the ceremony. Sure. Hell, even I was married in a church, but uh, that isn't necessary. You,
Right.
if you go and you
It's not
fill out the
necessary.
paperwork,
You
it's
just
not
go,
necessary
you
at all.
go fill out the paperwork, right?
Yeah, that
So
that cements it, I think, as
that's
a
fine.
state
Now,
issue.
in this bill, does it require a church to recognize or to perform a ceremony for a
No,
gay marriage, for example?
no, it doesn't.
Well, then it doesn't violate religious freedom, does
No, it doesn't.
it?
That's why these guys are wrong. Yeah, you're right. The, it, the there is one tiny issue within the bill that exists is that states don't have to uh, perform them statewide anyway. Worst case scenario, you live in Tennessee, and uh, two people of the same gender want to marry each other. They have to drive to a more liberal state to do it. And when they get back, the state of Tennessee accepts it. Um, so, I mean,
And that's a bit of an inconvenience, but
it's inconvenience, and I know that it's an inconvenience, but baby steps. We have to, like you and I discussed last time, I have to drag uh, the people on the right forward, kicking and screaming. This guy, Mr. Perry here, needs to be slowly dragged, kicking and screaming into the future because he won't go.
he's just a dumbass.
Yeah,
I don't know if that it's a matter of not wanting to go to the future or not, but he's just dumb.
cool.